Welcome back to Down the Track. In this episode, we'll be reviewing the last T20 and the overall T20 series between West Indies and Australia. This West Indies team have showed that why they're world champions. Suddenly, after sleeping for a couple of years after the 2016 World Cup, they've woken up. There's a World Cup coming, and they're playing their best players, and they're just looking really, really good. Defeating a good Australian team, mind you. For one, there's some key players missing in both sides. But just the brand of cricket that West Indies have played has really impressed us. I feel I have with me my co-host Abrar Aziz. Man, how do you defeat this West Indies team?
I think it's impossible, man. This is a solid West Indies side. If the openers don't stand up, there'll be the middle order that'll stand up. The middle order doesn't stand up, they have the lower middle order. Andy Russell's looking a complete package now. They have the likes of Pollard, who didn't even play a few of these games, and he's probably their best finisher as well, who's not even gotten because of the injury, of course, has not played. The likes of Puran, the likes of Gale coming back into form, Lendl Simmons performing, and then you come down to the bowling attack. Fabian Allen is looking a different bowler. Walsh
He's
Jr.
smashing it with the bat also.
With the bat as well, and he's looking a proper all-rounder at number 8. And Walsh Jr. is his proper spinner that has come through the ranks, and he's looking very, very good as well. Then, of course, they have Ocean Thomas, they have Cottrell, who's been bowling well. They have Dwayne Bravo. My God, these guys are all, they don't get old or whatever. I don't know. No one retires, nothing. They have so much talent. They have 15, 16 players who are very, very, very good for this side. And this West Indies side is phenomenal, man. And something I'm obviously, you know that I'm an Indian fan and I love New Zealand as well. But this West Indies side is very, very close to being my
third
favorite for the. Well, I don't want to say third. I don't like England, so this is probably going to be my favorite for going into the World Cup for me personally.
Favorite going into the World Cup? Yeah, for me, it's just that how will they play on UAE pitches? It'll be a bit slower. So how will the batsmen approach that? Will they implode? Is that going to be a case? But that was certainly not the case here against Australia, and some good pitches, but also in West Indies, we do have slow pitches as well. So I think the way they played, it was fantastic. And mind you, they didn't have Pollard, and I think Pollard is an excellent captain. Without him, they're winning. When he comes in, I think he'll change that. Like, captaincy is very important in this format. So I think that will be really helpful for them going into that tournament. But yeah.
And he brings you that all-round option as well, right? He brings you that batting and bowling.
Yeah, they've cracked the formula, right? Like they have 3 all-rounders who will bowl back and they will smash. And they're effective in both ends. It's not that you can bowl 4 overs and you can bat 20 overs with these guys. So
absolutely,
they've cracked the formula. Like the hard hitting and all-rounders, basically someone who contributes in all areas. And one thing which they've really improved, and I think Fabian Allen is the captain of that, is fielding. That catch he took off Finch yesterday was just outstanding. Just
one
incredible.
Hand diving to his left, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, because fielding is very important. You can hit as much as you want, but if you're going to drop catches, then you're conceding those many runs as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think fielding is very important. Chris Gayle also getting into form, 21 of 7 balls in this last game, but he's got his incredible knock, I think, in the second in the second or third T20. So he's looking in form. He's going to play this World Cup for sure at 42 years of age. Who would have thought, T20 is a young man's game? It's just incredible.
Boss, you just have these guys are old, man. All these guys are old. These West Indies, we've been hearing about them for the past 10 years.
Average age is probably 30 plus, no?
Has to be. I think Puran is probably the only young guy in that team in that top order right now.
Yeah, and I think Puran. In yesterday's game there was no Hetmeyer and there wasn't any. I don't think Dwayne Bravo played as well.
Yeah,
and what's his name? Also Pollard, right? So this is always players they can look out for. For me, one concern about West Indies was a spinner because Narayan played a crucial role in their 2 wins. World Cup wins. So,
but I think Walsh Jr. is playing well.
Walsh Jr. and Fabian Allen, I think they're making
complementing each other well.
Yeah. And Australia, of course, they had players missing. There was no David Warner, there was no Steve Smith, no Marcus Stoinis, no Glenn Maxwell. So it wasn't a full-strength Australian team. They still have a lot of players, but they will be disappointed. I think the shining light for them is Mitchell Marsh.
Absolutely. I think he's been bowling well, batting well. I think he's made that number 3 spot his own, which is nice to see. But like you said, he's definitely been the shining light for sure. But I think the fact that they missed all these 4 players and the middle order is looking really, really, really weak, and they've tried to change things around a little bit. They tried Wade up top, they tried in the middle order. It's really not working out very well for them at this point in time. But with the senior guys coming back and with them really bringing in their top 11, I think they'll be a better side to face. And I wouldn't be too worried. But at the same time, I'd really be taking some harsh lessons from the series.
Yeah, and these 2 sides will meet again in that World Cup. So this is a good kind of thing, like, feel each other out, try to strategize going into that. But I think Australia, that's the thing, right? They had 4 players missing, whereas West Indies had a couple here and there. So
Yeah.
Australia has something to look back. I mean, they have
Fall back
something
on,
to
yeah.
fall back on. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Mitchell Starc as well. That over he bowled to Andre Russell in the
Oof.
T20 that they won. That will give them a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Do you see Hazelwood, Cummins, and Starc playing in this T20 together, or would you like to see somebody like a Jai Richardson or a different kind of bowler? Because these guys play all formats and they're more test bowlers. But what would you like to see in Australia's bowling?
I think they'll have to keep a couple options like a Jared Richardson, a Riley Meredith. These guys are probably a little bit more the white ball specialists, and try really have one of them at least. Stark probably more or less defense a place for sure. I think probably in place of a Hazelwood, because Cummins can bowl in all formats as well pretty well. Maybe like from someone instead of a Hazelwood, probably try a Richardson or a Berendoff or even an Andrew Tye for that matter. Someone try something a little bit different. Meredith, these guys are there, options are there, so they probably want to try a couple options, because it's not going to work out with all three proper test bowlers trying to play the white ball format.
Yeah, 100%. And lastly, if we can just talk about Evan Lewis in this particular game, in the 79 of 34 balls, 4 fours and 9 sixes, strike rate of 232.
He's been a player that has has shown glimpses of absolute greatness, but again, consistency has been his problem. But when
how difficult is it, because he has to match up with Gale? Now he's not opening with Gale, but he was playing with Gale again. Like Fletcher got out early, so he's playing with Gale again. So how difficult is it to play like that?
It's almost hard. But if anyone can, I think Evan Lewis can. I think he's got that capability to do it, and he's been phenomenal in that form, in that chase.
He's gone under the radar, I think, because of the consistency you talk about.
Yeah, I think so. I think he has talent. I think he was picked for big money even a couple of years back by Mumbai, if I'm not wrong.
He won them the IPL also. He had a really good
IPL. So he has the talent. I just feel like he has to be a little bit more consistent. And with the positions in this West Indies side now, real competition being there, I think that this is a good time for him to step up and phenomenal innings. I can't say anything more than that. To have 20 runs of 10 balls is something, and then to have 80 or 40 odd is something completely different. So that's the kind of level that he's portrayed, and hats off to him, man. What a player.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. It's going to be very interesting. Really excited, because this is the format that the World Cup is going to be played in very soon. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. And enjoy the rest of the cricket. Any last thoughts on Australia, West Indies?
Man, West Indies is my side to watch out for. I can't wait to see how they explode. Well, I mean, for all you know, they'll probably not make it through the group stages because they are that kind of a side. But I think that if they do, and when they do, this is a side that is going to go all guns blazing.
Yeah, and also I'll be very interested to see where the venue is. If it's a flat pitch on Sharjah, it's done. It's game over. But if it's in Dubai with a bit of slowness there, and it will be difficult. But they've cracked a formula where it is high risk, right? It won't work all the time, but
high reward.
When it does work, especially if they reach the knockouts, then it becomes difficult. They lost to Afghanistan when they won the World Cup, right? In 2016.
Yeah.
But they reached the knockouts. Once they reached the knockouts, they had that game against India and against England. They've changed the game in 2 or 3 overs because they have a certain formula. Go for big shots. You can play as many dot balls as you want. Who cares about rotating the strike? Smash it.
If the ICC is smart, they will play England and West Indies group in Sharjah just to keep the fun going. You can have the Indian-Pakistan playing these slow pitches because India-Pakistan will get you revenue anyway. So you have the England-West Indies play them in Sharjah, especially in the beginning part of the tournament when it's just going to be all bam 200 plus scores day in, day out. That's going to bring the World Cup alive, and that's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, definitely, man. Can't wait for that. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a great discussion, and I'll catch you soon.
Yep. Take care.
Take care.